How you doing, everyone? It's 2020 and it's time to go over more payroll in Excel. As always, we are working with a payroll application fully confined within a Microsoft Excel file. If you run a small business, you have any scenario possible, it can add it into this, adjust this template version. It works in pretty much all scenarios, all pay periods. I'm going to show you a little bit about how it works today. Some more difficulty in calculating the federal withholding this year. There's a lot of different options because there's a new W-4. I've done an extensive video on the new W-4 uh, that was posted in late December. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about Illinois state tax withholdings and also a payer that pays monthly or quarterly on a less frequent pay schedule because some small businesses, owners and stuff, sometimes will take a salary just maybe once a month or something to, not create a very laborious payroll process. We only have to give yourself a check infrequently every month or so. So as always, we use Pokemon characters as fake names in our payroll file, thanks to my son. And you enter in information like the name, the W-4 allowances if they're using a W-4 from a previous year. If they filled out a W-4 for this year, you're going to want to click yes here and then start filling out some information over to the right from that new 2020 W-4. But a lot of people are still working off the old ones for now. In Illinois, they have two sets of exemptions on the Illinois W-4. There's a line one and a line two exemption. You would put the line one here and the line two here, whether or not they're married. Illinois taxes the first $12,740 of wages. You put in unemployment rate assigned to you by the state over here. You'd enter in any daily hour information here or daily projects if there's some type of project pay. I've got this thing over here called project type and the amount that it pays over to the right. These are things that Pokemon characters do and how much they would be paid. That you can then choose them over here, and it will add that amount as it would pay them for doing that type of work if you pay your employees in a way other than hours and hourly wage. So there's a lot of ways to enter in your daily hours. As we look at the main sheet that has all the payroll records in this file, it's the pay periods records sheet. So all your daily information that you entered over here on the daily entry sheet ends up filtering in and coming to this pay periods record sheet, which is going to have all your pay periods. Now, this is set up for a monthly payer right now. 12 periods a year, one payment per month made on the end of the month. So as you get all your salary and wage information in here and you put an hourly rate over here, any bonus or salary amount you'd want to put here, any garnishments or reimbursements, the check number when you issue a check, you can put the check number in there. But there's an addition in this file and it talks about the pay period frequency. So someone who requested this file wanted to be able to withhold, if they're issuing a check once a month, normally they want to be able to hold at the monthly federal rate, but sometimes they may not pay themselves that frequently and they want to do it quarterly. If you change this to quarterly, what's going to happen is all this other information, how much is withheld, is going to change automatically, monthly or quarterly. You can see all this stuff starts changing here. And what it's doing is it's figuring out how many pay periods are in your year. So if you're a monthly payer, it's going to be 12 pay periods in the year. But if you're a quarterly payer, it's going to be just 4 periods in the year. So the tax that you withhold is actually going to be a little less because it thinks that your annualized salary is less if you're a quarterly payer instead of a monthly payer because there are pay periods in a monthly year. So you have the option to change that right there and your Illinois tax, which is pretty simple to figure out. There's those line one and line two allowances. The line one allowance is worth $2,325 per allowance. The line two allowance is worth $1,000 per exemption. And you just divide that by the number of pay periods in your year and subtract that amount from your taxable gross to get what your Illinois taxable wages are for the pay period. And then it's just a basic 4.95%. That's what that formula says up there. It's really simple. So Illinois is pretty easy. When it comes to looking at how the federal tax is impacted here, there are all these things you really need to do. There's like 12 different formulas or ways you have to attack the money to figure out exactly what the withholding is. I went over this in another video, but basically you need to annualize your wages. You need to do that by multiplying your taxable wage for the period times the number of pay periods in the year. And then if they filled out an old W-4, there's something else you have to do to the money. You look at the old federal allowances. If they filled out a new W-4 for 2020, you have to adjust it based on the information they provided on that new W-4. I suggest you go look at the W-4 video to see how complicated that is. But this payroll file has all that information waiting for you to fill it in right here in purple. If you end up needing that for a new W-4, it's this area right here. So um, all these different formulas, they're nested if formulas. There's 9 of them that you need to know depending on the filing status of the employee, whether it's single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household. You'll need to use these different formulas. I said I was going to paste these formulas in my last email. Now that we have all 9 of them done, the cost of living adjustments are in. The publication 15T, it's called, is the publication you can see where these formulas are listed. I also have them off to the right here in this image. You can see how we've turned basically all of these tables into a formula in the cell to apply it to the appropriate wage base. And it's just going to figure out everything for you so that you don't have to. And it generates things like pay stubs right here. You choose the name on the pay stub, and it's going to show you what the person owes and where all the federal tax goes and state tax. You can also change this report sheet here. If you want to look at a quarter, it's going to give you information about the quarter. If you don't want to look by quarter, you can get rid of this and look by month or look by pay period to see what you would owe. This is the first pay period. It's going to be right here. Then all your employee information is going to show up over here automatically, broken down by employee to reconcile your 941. In this case, over here, we have Illinois state tax. So same idea. If you choose over here, we're looking at Illinois, you can choose the quarter or you can choose the month. If you pay monthly, January has most of what you owe here. Um, we also have other pivot sheets where you can refresh and see data about all your employees and break it down, shrink it, or expand it to look at anything you want. We have state withholding and unemployment reports over here as well. Same idea, shows you what you'd owe based on the unemployment rate you put in. And also we have W-2s where you just click the name and it's going to give you all the information about the W-2 for the year for that employee. So it makes small business payroll really easy. The file keeps growing and getting better as I add different states to it. So Illinois is a pretty easy one at that 4.95%, I believe it is, after you figure out what your taxable wage base is. Right there, 4.95%. And the federal is a little complicated. So if you're interested in purchasing one of these payroll files, you can go to kenbraverman.com or follow the links below. And if you need anything done, you can always adjust this daily entry sheet to record any type of hours or compensation that you want and get all the reports you need. So payroll should be easy. Make it so.